Good day. So welcome sa panibago nating topic which is the stoichiometry, specifically the molar mass and percent composition. So yung last topic natin is about naming of chemical compounds. So very essential siya at very magagamit nyo ang naming of chemical compounds pagdating dito sa stoichiometry, no? Kasi kailangan nyo yung learnings nyo from naming. Kasi, for example, binigyan kayo ng word problem, sinabi lang na magnesium oxide. Paano mo ngayon i-write yung formula ng magnesium oxide? So, dapat master nyo na yung part ng chemical, naming of chemical compounds, no? So, both ionic and covalent, and then also yung ating oxoacids and yung mga polyatomic ions, and then yung naming of acids natin, no? So let's proceed. So sa stoichiometry, marami tayong mga terms na may encounter, no? Lalo na sa mga word problem, kasi mahalaga na alam nyo yung pagkakaiba-iba nila kasi para hindi tayo mag-cause ng confusion kapag nagbabasa tayo ng stoichiometry-related questions, no? So dito, matatakal natin yung molar mass, atomic mass, molecular mass, formula mass. So yung mga yun, magkakaiba yun, no? So i-discuss natin sila isa-isa at kung ano ba yung pagkakaiba-iba nila. So first ay yung atomic mass, no? So in micro world daw, atoms and molecules, and then in macro world naman is grams. So yung atomic mass, magpa-fall under yan sa micro world, no? So ginagamit lang natin yung atomic mass in a microscopic setting. So by definition, atomic mass is the mass of an atom in atomic mass unit or AMU. The unit of our atomic mass or yung atomic mass ay expressed as AMU, no? Yun yung unit niya, AMU. Ay, sorry. Hindi pala nagsusulat. Yan. No, AMU. And then, by definition ulit, one atom of carbon weighs 12 AMU. Ngayon, saan natin makikita yung 12 AMU na yan? Makikita natin yan sa periodic table. Pero kasi kapag tinitingnan natin yung periodic table, ang nakalagay doon ay minsan atomic weight, yung iba atomic mass, no? So yung iba naman molecular weight, no? So actually sa chemistry magkakapareho lang naman yan, pero nag-iiba-iba lang sila through definition at kung paano natin sila ginagamit. So yun lang yun. So meron tayong tinatawag na average atomic mass, no? So the average atomic mass is the weight average of all the naturally occurring isotopes of the element. So yung average atomic mass, actually this is, ito yung nakikita natin sa may periodic table, no? Yung average atomic mass. Actually, ang average atomic mass ay kinakalculate, no? So paano siya kinakalculate? Using isotopes ng bawat element. For example, si carbon, di ba si carbon ay meron tayong tinatawag na carbon 12 at meron tayong carbon 13, di ba? So, dito daw sa Earth, 98.90% ng carbon here in Earth is carbon 12 or yung isotope na carbon 12. And then, 1.10% naman ay yung carbon 13. So, para ma-compute natin yung average atomic mass, ginagamit natin yung fractional abundance niya and then yung atomic mass unit ng isang isotope. So para mas maintindihan natin, ito yung example. So yung naturally occurring lithium daw, meron tayong 2 isotopes of lithium, which is the lithium-6 and then the lithium-7. So yung lithium-6 daw, 7.42% lang daw yung nag-exist na lithium-6. So its atomic mass unit is 6.015. And then for lithium-7 naman is 92.58%. So in atomic mass unit, nag-exist siya as 7.016 AMU. So to calculate the average atomic mass ng lithium is gagamitin natin ngayon yung fractional abundance niya, which is the 7.42 multiplied by yung atomic mass unit of that isotope, and then i-add natin siya with another isotope which is the lithium-7. Kaya nakuha natin yung 7.42 multiplied by 6.015 plus 92.58 multiplied by 7.016 divided by 100 to get the 6.941 atomic mass unit. So yung 6.941 AMU na yan, yun yung makikita natin sa periodic table. So each of the elements in the periodic table is yung atomic mass na meron sila doon or yung atomic weight na meron sila is average atomic mass na of each isotopes. So may tinatawag naman tayo na molar mass, no? Ano ang kinaibahan ni molar mass kay atomic mass, no? So the molar mass of a substance is the mass in grams of 1 mole of a compound. Ibig sabihin, it is the same as the atomic mass. The difference is its unit. At ang molar mass, ginagamit natin to in macroscopic world. Microscopic, yung atomic mass, and then yung molar mass naman, ginagamit natin in, macroscopic world. And then, ang molar mass, ginagamit natin siya sa mga experiments, no? So, kunyari kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng experiment, ang ginagamit natin na unit ay gram per mole. Kasi gram yan, di ba? So, mas malaki siya compared kay atomic mass unit. Kaya yan yung ginagamit natin. But, yung unit lang yung naiba sa kanya. No? Pero it's the same. No? So, meron tayong tinatawag na mole. So, mole is defined such that a sample of a natural element with a mass is equal to the element's atomic mass expressed in grams contains in 1 mole of atoms. For example, carbon. Ang carbon natin is 12, di ba? So, 12 gram. So, ang 12 gram of carbon is also equal to 1 mole of carbon. So, ang mole daw is equal din ang 1 mole sa Avogadro's number, which is the 6.022 times 10 raised to 23. So, pwede natin siya i-express as 6.022 lang times 10 raised to 23. So, the unit of the Avogadro's number can be molecule or atoms. So, dalawa lang yan. No? So, ang Avogadro's number is constant. So again, for any element, atomic mass or AMU is equals to molar mass lang din. No? So yung unit lang yung nagkaiba. For molar mass, grams. For atomic mass is AMU or atomic mass unit. Again, 1 mole of carbon atoms ay equals lang din yan sa Avogadro's number, which is the 6.022 times 10 raised to 23, at equals lang din siya sa 12 grams. Kasi magkaka-equal lang sila. So, ganun lang din sa ibang elements such as yung mga lithium, oxygen, carbon, boron, and so on. So, upon differentiation, kapag ano daw ba yung kinaibahan ni atomic mass with molar mass? So, by definition, ang atomic mass is the mass of an individual atom, and then yung molar mass naman is the mass of 1 mole of particles. So, yung particles for atomic mass ay yung proton, electrons, and neutron. And then for molar mass is yung Avogadro's number of particles. So, again, the units of atomic mass is AMU, and then the units of molar mass is gram per mole. So, yung atomic mass daw is also known as atomic weight din. And then yung molar mass ay tinatawag din na molar weight. So, again, yung atomic mass, ginagamit natin for atomic scale in microscopic, and then for molar mass is in macroscopic level. So, the isotopic values is included for both. So, for example, yung atomic mass daw ng Na or ng sodium is 22.99 AMU. So, yung molar mass is also 22.99 gram per mole. So, yung units lang talaga yung nagkaiba sa kanila, pero same lang. So, meron tayong steps in calculating molar mass. No? Yung molar mass for a compound. So, for a compound to. So, first daw is write the chemical formula. For example, water. No? So, ang example natin, for example, ay water. Tapos, write down muna natin yung formula. So, H2O. So, next is identify the number of atoms of each element. So, yung hydrogen natin, meron tayong dalawa, and then for oxygen, meron tayong isa. Next is multiply daw yung atomic mass with the number of atoms. So, saan natin kukunin yung atomic mass? This is from the periodic table. So, for hydrogen, ang atomic mass niya ay 1 or 1.008. And then for oxygen is 16 or 15.999. And then, kailangan daw natin siya i-multiply with the number of atoms na present. So, sa hydrogen, meron tayong dalawa. So, yung 1.008, i-multiply natin yan by 2. And then, i-add daw natin yung products ng bawat isa. So, 1 times 2 is 2. And then, 15 times 1 is 16. So, meron tayong 2 plus 16 is equals to 18. So, the molar mass ng water is 18 gram per mole. So, that's how you calculate the molar mass of a given compound. So, another example, how many atoms are in 0.551 grams ng potassium? So, dito naman, analyze lang natin mabuti yung question. So, ang hinahanap dito is how many atoms, diba? So, sa atoms yung hinahanap. And then, meron tayong given na 0.551 grams ng potassium. No? So, sa 0.551 grams daw ng potassium, ilang daw potassium atom ang meron doon? So, ano yung una nating step? No? So, sa pagko-calculate, magsisimula tayo, of course, with the given. Pero, alamin muna natin kung ano yung mga kailangan natin. So, again, di ba? To cancel out the units, specifically the grams, is kailangan gumamit din tayo ng grams, di ba? So, ang stoichiometry ay dimensional analysis. Katulad lang din ng nauna nating topic, no? So, sa first topic natin is yung sa may conversion ng units, di ba? Yung given unit multiply by the desired unit divided by the given unit to cancel out the units of the given unit. So, ganun. And then, again, so, balik tayo dito sa may problem. So, how many atoms are in 0.551 grams ng potassium? So, ang kukunin natin ngayon yung molar mass ni potassium. No? So, kunin natin yung molar mass niya, which is the 39.10 grams ng potassium. Galing to sa may periodic table. No? So, equal lang din to sa 39.10 gram per mole ng potassium. So, same lang din yan. Next is, di ba, nabanggit natin na ang 1 mole of any element is equals to 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms, which is yung Avogadro's constant natin or yung Avogadro's number. No, so, ano yung next step natin? Since ang hinahanap ay how many atoms, kailangan mapalabas natin yung unit ni atoms. No, so, ganito yung nangyari. Start tayo with the given unit, which is the 0.551 grams ng potassium. So, sulat natin dito sa taas. So, 0.551 gram ni potassium. Ngayon, ano yung next step? So, ang next goal natin is to cancel out the units of ng gram, diba, ni potassium. So, gamitin natin ngayon yung molar mass ni potassium. Ngayon, sa ilalim natin ilalagay si 39.10 para ma-cancel out natin yung unit. So, cancel out, at yung nasa taas ay yung 1 mole of K. So, ang next step naman natin ngayon is i-convert si mole into atoms. So, gagamitin natin yung mole. So, 1 mole daw ng K is equals doon sa Avogadro's number. So, cancel out to, at matitira yung atoms of K. So, napalabas na natin yung desired unit natin. So, pwede na tayong mag-calculate. 0.551 to. 0.551 divided by 39.10 times 6.022 exponent 23 is equals to 8.48 or 49 times 10 raised to 21 atoms ng potassium. So that's the final answer. So ito yung mas maayos na representation ng sagot. So yung sinulat ko lang dyan ay 8.48 pero ang nakuha kasi sa calculator is 8.486. So kapag inano mo siya, ni-round off mo siya, 8.49. Yan. So ano naman yung tinatawag natin na molecular mass? No? So ano ang kinaibahan ni molecular mass kay atomic mass? No? So ang molecular mass naman ay tinatawag natin na molecular weight. Ang molecular mass is the sum of the atomic masses expressed in AMU also. So ang molecular mass is AMU din siya. No? So para lang din siyang yung molar mass, pero ang pinagkaiba ay yung unit. So and specifically ang molecular mass, ginagamit natin to for covalent compounds. For example, yung SO2 or yung sulfur dioxide. So to calculate the molecular mass of the sulfur dioxide is from the periodic table 32.07. So meron tayong isang sulfur, bibilangin muna pala natin yung mga given na elements. So meron tayong isang sulfur at meron tayong dalawang oxygen. So 32.07 plus 2 multiplied by 16 to get the 64.07. Again, for any molecule, molecular mass or AMU is also equals dun sa molar mass na expressed as grams. So another example. So in this example, how many atoms are in how many hydrogen atoms? Yan. So dito hinahanap si hydrogen atoms are in 72.5 grams daw ng C3H8O. So ang first step natin is to calculate the molar mass ng C3H8O. So, yun yung una nating goal. Kasi, gagamitin natin siya to cancel out yung units natin dun sa given mass ng C3H8O, which is the 72.5 grams. Para ma-convert natin siya into mole. And then, after that, ko-convert natin yung mole ni C3H8O into mole ng hydrogen atoms. And then, after that, pag na-convert na natin yung mole ng hydrogen atoms, ko-convert naman natin ngayon si mole ng hydrogen into hydrogen atoms para makuha natin yung sagot. So, ito yung computation natin for calculation of the molar mass ng C3H8O. So, ito yung sa carbon, diba? Carbon, sa hydrogen, and then si oxygen. So, meron tayong 3 carbon, kaya 3 times 12, and then meron tayong 8 hydrogen, kaya 8 times 1, and then plus 16 to get the 60 gram of C3H8O. So again, 1 mole ng C3H8O ay equals daw sa 8 mole or 8 mole of hydrogen atoms. Bakit? Kasi meron tayong 8 hydrogen atoms doon sa may molecule natin. Kaya 1 mole ng C3H8O ay equals to 8 mole of hydrogen atoms. And again, ang 1 mole of any element is equals lang din sa Avogadro's number. No? So, para ma-convert natin siya into atoms. So, eto na yung computation. So, 72.5 grams, doon tayo mag-start. Yan. Tapos, iba tayo ng kulay. Yan, 72.5 grams ng C3H8O. So, to cancel out the grams, gagamitin natin yung 60 grams and then converted na siya into mole of C3H8O. So, ibababa natin siya dito. And then, ang 1 mole ng C3H8O ay equals sa 8 moles ng hydrogen atoms. So, given unit, desired unit, given, desired, given, desired. And then, multiply by doon sa Avogadro's number natin to get yung units natin na hinahanap, which is the number of hydrogen atoms. So 72.5 divided by 60 times 8 multiplied by 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms is equals to 5.82 times 10 raised to 24 na hydrogen atoms. So that's the final answer. Next is may tinatawag naman tayo na formula mass. No? So ano yung kinaibahan ni formula mass kay molecular mass? Ang formula mass is pareho lang siya with molecular mass. So, but the difference is ang formula mass is used for ionic compounds, no? Kadalasan sa mga crystals. So, example natin is NaCl. So, calculate daw yung formula mass ng NaCl. So, meron tayong isang Na or isang sodium at meron tayong isang chlorine. So, 22.99 from the periodic table si sodium at 35.45 naman si Cl. So, add lang natin sila to get 58.44 atomic mass unit. So, again, for any ionic compound, formula mass is also equals to sa molar mass na expressed in grams. So, next example is, what is the formula mass of Ca3PO42? So, dito, tinatanong kung ano yung formula mass ng Ca3PO42. So, yung steps dito na gagawin nyo ay katulad lang din sa pag-calculate dun sa may molar mass. So, ilist muna natin yung mga elements and then bilangin natin kung ilan sila. So, for calcium, meron tayong 3. And then for phosphorus, meron tayong 2. Kasi bakit siya naging 2? Kasi meron siyang open and close parenthesis doon and then may subscript na 2. So, i-multiply natin doon sa loob. Kaya meron tayong 2 phosphorus and then for oxygen, meron tayong 8 kasi 2 multiply by 4. Kaya meron tayong 8 oxygen. And then, kunin na natin sa periodic table yung kanilang ano tawag doon? Atomic mass. No? So, 3 multiply by ano ba yung calcium? Calcium is 40 and then multiply by 40 and then yung phosphorus is 30.97 and then yung oxygen is 16. Yan. And then kung ano yung sum na makukuha natin dyan, yun na yung final answer. So, the final answer will be 310.18 atomic mass unit. So, another practice problem. So, juglone is a dye known for centuries is produced from the husk of black walnuts. It is also a natural herbicide or weed killer that kills off competitive plants around the black walnut tree, but does not affect grass and other non-competitive plants. So, the formula daw for juglone is C10H6O3. So, first question is to calculate the molar mass of juglone. So, molar mass lang ng juglone yung hinahanap. And then for the letter B is a sample of 1.56 times 10 raised to negative 2 grams ng pure juglone was extracted from black walnut. So, how many moles naman daw ng juglone does this sample represent? So, si A muna yung i-calculate natin. So, kay A, kunin lang natin yung molar mass ni juglone. So, C10H6O3. So, meron tayong 10 multiply by 12 plus 6 multiply by 1 plus 16 multiply by 3. So, kapag kinalculate natin yan, we will get 10 multiply by 12 plus 6 plus 16 multiply by 3. Yeah. We will get 174 grams ng juglone C10H6O3 or gram per mole. So, next is a sample of 1.56 times 10 raised to negative 2 grams. So, dito naman, meron tayong given na mass ng juglone. So, ang tinatanong is how many moles daw ng juglone. So, for letter B, gamitin natin ngayon yung given which is 1.56. So, start tayo with the given. 1.56 times 10 raised to negative 2 grams ng C10H6O3. And then, to cancel out the units, gagamitin natin yung na-calculate nating molar mass dun sa A. So, divided by 174 gram per mole ng C10H6O3. And then, cancel out to, cancel out to. So, 1.56 exponent negative 2 divided by 174 is 1.56 exponent negative 2 divided by 174 is 8.97 times 10 raised to negative 5 ng moles of Jaglone. So, don't forget the units. Kasi pag walang units, mali. So, another practice problem. So, calcium carbonate or CaCO3, also called calcite, is the principal mineral found in limestone, marble, chalk, pearls, and the shells of marine animals such as yung clams. So, first is calculate daw natin yung molar mass ng calcium carbonate. And then for the letter B, a certain sample of calcium carbonate contains 4.86 moles. So what is the mass in grams of this sample? And then what is the mass of the carbonate ions present? So dalawa yung tanong. Una ay tinatanong yung mass ng mismong sample, which is the calcium carbonate, at yung pangalawa ay tinatanong naman yung mass ng carbonate ion. So, yung letter A muna yung i-compute natin. So, for letter A, sa taas ilalagay, calcium carbonate. So, tingnan lang natin ulit sa periodic table, no? So, si calcium is 40.078, and then, plus carbon, which is 12. Isa lang yung carbon, plus 16 multiplied by 3. So, the answer is 12 plus 16 multiplied by 3. The answer is 100.078 grams or gram per mole ng calcium carbonate. So for letter B, yan. Ang tinatanong is ano naman daw ngayon yung mass ng mismong sample natin. Pero this time may given tayo, which is yung moles. So, meron tayong given na 4.86 moles. At ang hinahanap natin ay grams. So, dimensional analysis lang din. So, 4.86 moles ng calcium carbonate. And then, i-multiply natin siya with mole ng calcium carbonate. Multiply natin siya with yung nakuha nating molar mass, no? So 100 times 100.078 gram per mole ng calcium carbonate. So cancel out natin tong mga units, yung mga moles, matitira si gram. So 4.86 times 100 is 486. So 486 grams ng calcium carbonate. So that's the final answer. And then for pangalawang question sa letter B is, what is the mass naman daw ng carbonate ion? No. So mag-start lang din tayo with 4.86 moles ng calcium carbonate. So 4.86 moles ng calcium carbonate. Ngayon, ano na yung next step natin? So kailangan muna natin siya i-convert into moles of carbonate. So, yung moles ng calcium carbonate, i-convert natin to into mole ng carbonate. So, 1 mole daw ng calcium carbonate is also equals lang din sa 1 mole ng carbonate ion. No? Kasi 1:1 lang naman yung ratio nila. No? Makikita natin yun or malalaman natin yun or mapepredict natin kapag tinignan natin yung mga charge na meron si calcium at saka si carbonate. Kasi 'di ba, ionic compound yan. So balance na yung equation. So 1:1 lang din sila. And then cancel natin si mole and then C, mole ng calcium carbonate, and then matitira si mole. So, ang next target natin ay makuha naman na yung mass which is expressed in grams. So, ano yung gagawin natin? Kukunin natin ngayon yung molar mass ni carbonate. Diba? So, ang calcium carbonate kasi is 100.078. So, i-less lang natin yung 40 from calcium, siya ay magiging 60. So, times 60 grams ng carbonate ion divided by doon sa 1 mole ng carbonate. And then, cancel to. So, kapag kinompute natin yan, 4.86 multiply by 1 divided by 1 times 60. So, the answer is 291.6 or 292 gram ng carbonate ion. So, that's the final answer. So, after natin sa molar mass, no, mag-proceed na tayo sa percent composition. So, ano ba ang percent composition? It is the percent by mass of each element in a compound. So, percent composition is obtained by dividing the mass of each element in 1 mole of the compound by the molar mass of the compound and multiplying sa 100%. So, ito yung guide natin. So, percent composition is equals to N times molar mass of element divided by molar mass ng compound times 100. Now, where N is the number of moles of the element in 1 mole of a compound. For example, meron tayong given compound which is the C2H6O. Yan, meron tayong C2H6O na given. So, ang goal natin is to calculate the percent composition of each element. So, ang kailangan natin gawin muna is ilista natin kung ano yung mga element na present. So, meron tayong carbon, hydrogen, and then oxygen. So, ang next na gagawin natin is kailangan natin kunin yung molar mass ng compound na to, which is the C2H6O. So, kunin natin yung molar mass niya. So, meron tayong dalawang carbon. So, 12 multiply by 2 plus 1 multiply by 6 plus 16 multiply by 1. No. So, kapag kinumpit natin yan, ang makukuha nating sagot is 46.07 or 46 lang. No. Kasi, doon sa may formula natin, kailangan natin yung molar mass ng compound. Kaya yung molar mass ng compound muna yung kukunin natin. So, pwede na natin ngayon i-compute yung percent composition of each element. So, simulan natin kay carbon. So, percent ng carbon is equals to 2. Saan galing yung 2? 2 is the number of mole ng carbon natin, di ba? So, meron tayong dalawang carbon. Multiply by 12.01 gram, which is the molar mass ng carbon, divided by 46.07 grams, which is yung molar mass ng compound natin, times 100%. No? So, makukuha nating sagot is 52.14%. And then for the hydrogen, percent ng hydrogen, we have 6 moles ng hydrogen multiplied by 1.008 grams divided by 46.07 times 100 to get 13.13%. And then for oxygen is 1 multiplied by 16 divided by 46.07 times 100 to get 34.73%. So, kapag chinek natin yung sagot, kailangan siya ay magwa 100%. Kasi pag lumagpas siya ng 100%, it means mali na yan. Or kapag mas bumaba siya ng 100%, may mali sa computation. No? So, 52.14 plus 13.13 plus 34.73% is equals to 100%. So, meron naman tayong tinatawag na empirical formula. No? So, kung kanina, given yung formula natin. So, dito naman, ang given ay yung percentage at hahanapin natin yung formula, which is the empirical formula. Empirical formula is the simplest formula ng isang compound. No? So, example tayo dito. So, determine the empirical formula of a compound that has the following percent composition by mass. So, K is equals to 24 34.75%, and then yung Mn daw is 34.77%, and then yung O is 40.51%. So, meron tayong step-by-step process na i-follow para ma-compute natin or para ma-calculate natin yung mga values na kailangan natin for its empirical formula. So, mag-start daw tayo with mass percent kasi yun yung given. So, ang una daw natin gagawin is i-convert natin into grams, no? And then divide by the molar mass. So, yung 24.7% na yan is also equals sa 24.75 na grams. And then, yung for manganese is 34.77 grams at yung oxygen is 40.51 grams. So, after nun, kailangan na natin silang i-divide with its molar mass, no? Kasi para makuha natin yung moles of each element. So, for potassium or K, so start tayo with 24.75 grams ng potassium divided by dun sa molar mass niya, which is 39.10 grams, tapos sa taas ay mole kasi yun yung desired unit natin to get 0.6330 mole ng potassium. And then for manganese, ganun din, start tayo with 34.77, divide natin dun sa molar mass ng manganese, which is 54.94, to get 0.6329 mole ng manganese. And then for oxygen is 40.51 divided by 16 to get 2.532 mole of oxygen. So, ano na yung next step natin? So, i-divide naman daw natin by the smallest number of moles. So, yung sa tatlo na yan, tingnan natin kung sino yung pinakamaliit. So, ang smallest is si manganese. So, kailangan natin i-divide yung tatlo doon sa value na nakuha natin for manganese. So, for potassium, 0.6330 divided by 0.6329 is equals to 1. And then for manganese is, divide lang naman siya sa sarili niya, so 1. And then for oxygen is 2.532 divided by 0.6329 is equals to 4. So, yung number of moles na present natin na yan, yan ay gagamitin natin for sa empirical formulas, no? So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong 4 moles ng oxygen, and then for manganese, meron tayong isa, and then for potassium, meron tayong isa. Kaya yung naging formula natin will be K or K1 Mn1O4. Since 1 yan, hindi na natin yan isinusulat. So, basically, that is KMnO4 or, ayan, KMnO4. So, another example is phosphoric acid is a colorless syrupy liquid used in detergents, fertilizers, toothpaste, and carbonated beverages for a tangy flavor. So, calculate daw natin yung percent composition by mass ng hydrogen, phosphorus, and oxygen. So, isa-isay natin yan and then ika-calculate natin yung percent composition nila. So, again, kunin muna natin yung molar mass ni H3PO4, di ba, ni phosphoric acid. So, 1 multiplied by 3 plus for phosphorus is 30.97 plus 16 multiplied by 4. So, the answer is, the answer is 97.97. So, calculate natin sila each. So, unahin na natin si hydrogen, no? Si percent ng hydrogen. So, meron tayong tatlong hydrogen. So, 3 multiply by 30, multiply by 1 divided by sa 97.97 times 100%. And then, for percent naman ng phosphorus is meron tayong isa multiply by 30.97 divided by 97.97 times 100%. And then for oxygen, percent ng oxygen, 4 pala muna. 4 multiply by 16 and then divided by 97.97 times 100%. No? So, pag kinalculate natin yan isa-isa, 3 divided by 97.97 times 100 is 3.06%. And then for phosphorus is 30.97 divided by 97.97 is times 100 is 31.6%. And then for oxygen is 4 multiplied by 16 divided by 97.97 times 100% is 65.32%. So, pag in-add natin sila, plus 3 plus 31.6 is 99.9%. So, basically, 100% lang din siya. So, another problem is carbon is a substance that occurs in two forms, having different arrangement of atoms, but the same molecular formula, C10H14O and mass, no? So, one type of carbon gives caraway seeds their characteristic smell, and the other type is responsible for the smell of spearmint oil. So, ito, compute the mass percent of each element in carbon. So, pangatlong example na natin to, so hindi ko na siya i-discuss. Kayo na lang bahala na i-compute yung percent composition ng bawat element dito, no? So, percent ng carbon, percent ng hydrogen, at percent ng oxygen. So, another example is ascorbic acid vitamin C cures scurvy. No? So, it is composed of 40.92% ng carbon. So, 4.58% ng hydrogen and 54.5% ng oxygen by mass. So, dito, determine daw natin yung empirical formula. So, sundan lang din natin yung steps kanina. So, ang mga elements na present natin is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Ngayon, naalamin natin kung ano ngayon yung mga values na yan sa subscript nila, no? Para malaman natin yung empirical formula. So, eto, ang 40.92% ay equal lang din kay 42.92 grams ng carbon, and then ito is 4.58 grams at ito is 54.50 grams. So, unahin muna natin si carbon. So, N ng C, kunin natin yung, ipusog natin dito sa kabila. So, yung moles ng carbon is 40.92 gram. So, i-divide natin ngayon yan sa molar mass ni carbon. So, 12.01. Sige, 12 na lang. 12 grams ng carbon and then 1 mole of carbon. And then for hydrogen, moles ng hydrogen is 4.58 grams ng hydrogen times or multiply natin dun sa sa mole ng hydrogen divided by dun sa molar mass ni hydrogen, which is 1 gram ng hydrogen. So, cancel to. And then for oxygen is 54.50 grams multiply dun kay oxygen. Ang oxygen is 16 yung oxygen sa periodic table. 16 gram ng oxygen and then 1 mole of oxygen. So, cancel and then cancel. So, 40.92 divided by 12 is 3.41. And then for hydrogen, 4.58 divided by 1 is 4.58 lang din. Now for oxygen, 54.50 divided by 16 is 3.41 din. So, pareho silang 3.41. So, kahit alin dyan, yung gamitin natin na ipang-divide. So, divide natin lahat kay 3.41. 3.41 and then 3.41. So, this will be equal into 1 and then this will be equal into 1. So, 4.58 divided by 3.41 is 1, ayun na sumulat. Nalobat na siya. Sorry. Is equals to 1.34. No? So, wait lang, nalobat yung pen ko. 1.34. No? So, the problem is, 1.34 ay hindi siya pwedeng i-round off. No? So, ano ba yung mga values na hindi dapat i-round off? No? For example, yung decimal point niya ay from 0.2 to 0.8. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-round off. No, hindi mo sila pwedeng i-round off. So, ano yung gagawin mo? Ang pwede mo lang i-round off, for example, ang decimal place niya is 0.1 and then 0.0 tapos 0.9. No, doon pa lang tayo pwedeng mag-round off. Pero kapag 0.2 to 0.8, bawal tayo mag-round off. So, anong gagawin natin? So, iisip tayo ngayon ng multiplier na magiging whole number yung 1.34 natin. No, so, sa pag-iisip ng whole number, mag-start tayo with mababa. So, for example, si 1.34, i-multiply natin siya by 2. Start muna tayo kay 2. Multiply natin siya by 2. So, 1.34 times 2 is equals to 2.68. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pwede si 2. Kasi kapag si 2 yung ginamit natin, hindi pa rin siya sakto kasi yung 68 or yung 0.68 ay nagpo-fall under pa rin ng 0.2 to 0.8. So, mag-increase tayo ng number ngayon. So, gamitin naman natin is 3. So, 1.34 So, 1.34, gawin natin si 3 ito. 1.34 times 3 is 4.02. No, so, lobat na siya. 4.02. So, ibig sabihin, pwede nating i-round off. Kapag minultiply natin ang isa, for example, yung hydrogen with 3, kailangan na natin silang i-multiply lahat sa 3. So, ibig sabihin, 1 times 3 at 1 times 3 na ito. So, ito will be 3, ito ay 4. 4 ito, at ito ay 3 din. So, the formula will be C3H4O3. No? So, that's the empirical formula. So, C3H4O4. So, this is the final, O3. O3. So, that is the final answer. Sorry guys, nag-ano yung ano ko, yung pen ko na lobat. So, 3 ito. So, in this problem, kayo naman yung mag-try na mag-compute. No? So, a white powder is analyzed and found to contain 43.64% of phosphorus and 56.36% of oxygen by mass. So, the compound has a molar mass daw. Yung compound meron daw siyang molar mass na 283.88. No? Yung unknown compound natin. So, given yung molar mass niya. So, ang tanong is what are the compound's empirical and molecular formulas? No? When we say molecular formula, it is the exact formula of that compound. No? Kasi yung empirical ay yung simplest. No? So, yung molecular formula, yan talaga yung kanyang formula. So, 43.64% and then ng phosphorus and 56.36% ng oxygen, and gagamitin natin sila to calculate yung empirical formula. No? And then, kapag nakuha na natin yung empirical formula, kunin natin ngayon yung molar mass ng empirical formula. No? Kung ano yung makukuha yung molar mass ng empirical formula is, mag-isip kayo ngayon ng multiplier na mapapalabas nyo si 283.88. Tapos, kapag minultiply nyo na siya using that number, for example, minultiply nyo siya by 2, kailangan yung mismong formula, i-multiply din natin by 2. So, kung for example, sumulat. For example is, Wait lang. So, sige, i-reveal ko na yung answer. So, yung answer dito will be P2O5. This is the empirical formula. So, the molecular formula will be P4O10. No. So, kayo na lang magpalabas ng solution kung paano nakuha yung molecular formula and then yung empirical formula. And then, for your assignment, no, so, ang deadline nito will be next week pa naman. And then next week ay quiz tayo ulit. No, quiz tayo dito sa percent composition and molar mass. So for question number 1 is write the correct name for any formula, no. So yung letter A, letter B at letter C at letter D na yan, i-name nyo sila and then i-calculate nyo yung molar mass of each compound. And then for number 2 is determine nyo yung empirical and molecular formula ng cafe. Now, if ever you have questions and clarifications about dito sa discussion natin, feel free to message sa Google Classroom and or sa GC. No? So again, next week ay quiz tayo for this topic.